Hey everybody, so just gonna go live in a second. Still getting organized here, so give me one sec. Okay. Hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks for coming to TikTok Live. Just so you know, we do TikTok Live, and we're also going to be doing a YouTube live stream as well. We do have a lot of stuff going on. Hey Moji Bayat 3, thanks. Hi, how are you? Um, so we do live on our TikToks, but we also do live on our YouTube page. And we've been getting a lot of interaction. We appreciate you guys coming on board and to check us out. So I'm gonna get going in just a second as soon as I get the all clear here. All clear. Okay, guys. So essentially, welcome. My name's Sumeet. I'm an immigration attorney, and we're with the Gig Law. Gig Law is a primarily employment-based immigration law firm, but we do handle all sorts of immigration cases, and we like to discuss immigration topics and immigration processes and updates as they come through in the news. I've been living and breathing and eating immigration for 20 years, so I do enjoy what I do, and I like to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, I will jump right in. All right. Okay. So basically, here we are today, and it is June, and President Biden's been in office for about 6 months. Okay, and in that time, we've seen a lot of new developments and changes. Specifically, we've seen policy changes and sort of adjustments to the process that kind of had come through from the last president. The last president had made a lot of changes, specifically in the H-1B marketplace and in the green card marketplace, in terms of what products were and how they worked and how they were going to be and given out or administered. So what we've seen recently, and the most recent update, is that Biden has been undoing a lot of those things. And the difference between this president and the last president are many. It's huge. Most importantly, what we're seeing is that this president, he doesn't tweet things and make a lot of noise about things. He actually just makes these changes, and he does it in a very legal manner. Like, he'll just have somebody review it. They'll internally review it. Nobody will know what's going on. It's not announced that there's a review. The review is finished. They just announce what's happened and make the change. This ends up giving us a lot of, new information, but through a process, right? And essentially, we get a lot of time of silence where nothing's happening. Okay? So most recently, some of the changes that have come through have been in the asylum process. Okay? Now, asylum is a process that is predominantly for individuals who have fled a country and they're afraid to live there or go back there. If they're in the asylum process and they or if you're in the asylum process, somebody who has been, you should be aware that it has a lot of recent changes in it. And overall, asylum cases have a very, very low rate of success. What I mean by that is, if I did it, for example, an employment-based green card, okay? An employment-based green card is, you're here in the United States, your employer wants to sponsor you, you're eligible, okay? Because you're either in status or have something else pending. That process, winning that process, is almost like 90-something%. Okay? I mean, really, it's like 98%. Very rarely do we lose one of those cases. Now, I mean, I'm talking about my own experience, but I am sure there's other quality good attorneys that have these same kind of rates. Because the green card process for employment literally has a step-by-step, three-step process that we almost always can get through and get approved. So what does that mean? It means that if you qualify for an employment-based case, or if you talk to me at the beginning of your immigration career, and I point out to you how this works, then your options and your choices are ones where you try to stay in status and try to get to this employment timeline. Because even though it's got a lot of steps and maybe it might be a little expensive, the success rate at 90+% is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal for you. It's phenomenal for your family. Asylum, on the other hand, okay, which is the changes Biden made recently. asylum cases are almost less than 50%. I'm not going to quote any numbers on those because I don't actually study the numbers for asylum. I do know from my career, having done asylum cases, fought them, been through them on both sides, as a prosecutor and then as an attorney for individuals, I do know that winning those cases is very, very specific. It's about your exact details in your case, and it's very much about how that judge believes your case to be, either from documentary evidence or very, very good testimony. And I have some cases I can go over with you to tell you about those, but the bottom line is asylum win rates are far, 50% or less. Okay, and then by judge, you'll see numbers. Some judges have like a 12% asylum approval rate. Some have less, 5%. Okay, the really high-end judges are at the 14 to 20% approval rate. Now imagine that you are putting your money and your life in line to get a green card and you're choosing asylum. Well, I mean, you really, really need a good legal opinion to do that. And I get so many calls of people that are in asylum cases. And the truth is, when those people, that's their only choice, they literally have no other choice, then that's fine. I mean, it's fine in the sense that they made a choice that's best for their life. But if you have the opportunity, if you have employers, if you're in status, if you're in an F1 position, you should not definitely be just jumping towards asylum, okay? So I do have a stream of questions, and I'm going to kind of start answering some of those because that's kind of what we want to do in our lives, okay? So I'm looking at my TikTok right now, but my team's giving me my Facebook stuff. I mean, my Facebook and YouTube questions as well, if you're out there. All right. So I'm an international student overstaying visa, but I'm a legal resident. Could I apply under DREAM? So DREAM, right now, we have DACA. DACA has a June 15, 2007 entry date. That's June 15, 2007. You must be under 16 when you enter the United States, and then you must have completed, college here. The DREAM Act, which has passed before, but is currently not a law, we have to wait and see. If you're an overstay and you're an unlawful presence, possibly. The dates are going to matter for you, okay? What ways for Indian on F1 to get permanent residence other than H-1B? All right, well, that's a great question. Basically, H-1B is a work visa that then leads to an EB process. F1 students get OPT. Obviously, they can work for that 1 year, but after that, they need another visa. So if you look at it that way, that from F1, you get 1 year of work permission, or if you have STEM, a couple more years. After that, you must have another visa, or you must get a green card before that, okay? So there's a lot that has to happen in terms of the timing and how you do this case. So what you should know is this. If you're on an F1 and you marry an American citizen, congratulations, you're going to get yourself a green card, okay? But if you're on an F1 and you don't have a citizen spouse, okay, or your parents are citizens or your children are 21 and they're a citizen, then you're going to have to go through an employment-based process and get other visas. Other visas are the O1, Individuals with Extraordinary Ability. There's possibilities for E-visas. There's possibilities for other types of visas, religious visas, if you work in the religious community. But in the end, what you're going to focus on is, from your F1, what is your next visa, and how are you going to do that? All right. Good afternoon, sir. I filed my I-49 marriage-based in February. I haven't got my biometrics yet. Oh, that's very disappointing. February to now is 4 months, and you should have a receipt notice and a biometrics. Now, biometrics are a little backlogged because of the EAD biometrics and all those problems. You should make an inquiry or talk to your lawyer to make an inquiry on it, all right? But you're in the queue and going if you have a receipt notice, all right? That was for, it's Vishak. All right. Mohammed Dafir, 86. How much time does it take USCIS to approve the I-360 application as a religious worker? So religious workers, I believe they're at about 2 years or something beyond 13 months. So you do have to do the I-360. You can try to file the 485 at the same time if you want to. Typically, we don't do that. But if you really need to, you can try and file it. Talk to your attorney about that. Good afternoon, sir. 45 marriage base. I got you. It's Shock. All right. Would being fully vaccinated make the process any easier? No, sorry. Vaccination is not part of the process just yet. Good afternoon. I filed my 45 marriage base. Do we have any update for U visa work permit news? How are we going to get it, or we have to apply? All right, that's a great question, user 4470-7705-175-458. Excellent name, very identifiable and unique. All right. So as you guys know, 2 weeks ago, Biden announced that they will be starting a process almost immediately for U visas to apply for a work permit. U visas. When you file a U visa, there's a backlog of 4 to 5 years. Biden's basically saying, we're going to give you a work permit while you're in line. Now, there's some specific points here that you need to know, and they are that normally they used to have to do what's called a prima facie qualification. That means, is this case qualifying? Like, do you have the right kind of crime? Do you have a certification? Do you generally qualify? After that, they give the EAD. So you can expect some bumps in the road. Okay, expect some bumps in the road in this new process. And essentially what they're saying is you can file a specific form. We're looking at the WS, but it might just be a form which is informational, or you do an affidavit with information, or it might be the WS form. And so at this point, what's going to happen is you can file your work permits now. In fact, we're taking on those cases now to get the work permits processed, because it is something specific and different. And once you have that ready, you can file your work permit. It's a little bit different if you have your work permit already pending. In that case, you need to actually prepare those ancillary or extra documents that they're talking about. All right. So the U visa work permit is excellent. If you've got it, talk to your attorney, get started on it. And if you want to talk to us, obviously, call us, talk to us. Happy to work with you on it. All right. You do have to apply for it. I see your question. You got to apply. H4 approval, H4D processing time update. It's moving. It's not moving fast enough. That's all I can say. All right. How long does it take to get approved for an I-751? How long does it take to get interview from USCIS? Great question. The I-751 is after you've been married for 2 years and you have a 2-year green card, it is the removal of conditions on the 2-year green card. All right. So an I-751 can be filed 2 ways. It can be filed as you're married, still married, and the other way is filed as a waiver, meaning I am divorced. Okay. The I-751 used to be one of the fastest cases we ever had. We used to get them done in 6 months. And then that last president came in. What they do nowadays is they issue you in your receipt notice, they issue you a document good for 18 months. Okay? Because the goal is to finish them in about 18 months. Now, I have encountered a lot of problems with these over the last year and a half or 2 years because of the last president. And what we ended up doing, I'll give you a little trick here, all right? This is a secret just for you. Don't normally tell people this, but here you go. If your I-751 has been pending, already filed and been pending for a year or longer, call us or go to your attorney and file your N-400. If you file your N-400, what they do is they move the N-400 rapidly up to the interview date within 4 or 6 months. And then they do both your interviews at the same time, and they approve both and give you your citizenship. Okay? It is horrible and deplorable that this is actually happening. But this is one of the tricks of the trade right now on the I-751. And that is because I have several clients that have gone beyond 18 months. They're into the 2-year mark, and it's very disturbing, and it's very upsetting for them. So I know how you feel, okay? If you've got a good attorney, they would have advised you about this. But if not, there's a good attorney right here. Give us a call. We'll try and help you out, all right? I don't have processing time at H4 approval and H4 EAD because it's kind of up in the air. There's too many different groups, and some groups got moved to the front of the line, okay? You're going to have to file and just wait, okay? I understand, Mohammed, that you're asking, and I'd love to help you. User 756. I'd love to help you, but that's it. Okay. How much time to approve the I-360? I answered that one. H4, you guys are spamming the chats, man. You guys, really. There's only like 10 people here. You don't have to spam. I'll get to your questions. There it is again. Spamming the chats. All right. Okay, guys. So I don't really have a time period for... I don't really have the time period for the H4 EAD, honestly, just because we have filed them, we're pending. Some of them have specific things where we can try to expedite them. We're using some of the old provisions or the new provisions that came out about expediting. We're doing a whole bunch of different things, and honestly, I'm not tracking all of them because I'm having my staff do it because there's so much to go on, and it's very case by case, okay? If you have an H4 EAD that you want to work on, you should definitely talk to your attorney, see what they can do for you. All right, so Jessica Mosquera 57, please talk about the EB2 NIW. Fantastic. I'd love to talk about EB2 NIW. NIW stands for National Interest Waiver. The EB2 NIW is obviously the National Interest Waiver that goes in the EB2 category. Now, it is one of the few ways you can self-petition. Self-petition means that somebody else doesn't have to sign the paperwork and say that they're giving you a green card. Rather, you are signing everything and you're saying, I deserve a green card because of my accomplishments. And those accomplishments are National Interest Waiver. The National Interest Waiver says that whatever you are doing will have a national impact in a way that's beneficial to the United States. Now, this is not national security. This is not protecting the United States. It's just how will you impact this United States, okay? I have done tons of NIWs from all different fields of inquiry. Now, obviously, in the science field, it's the number one way to go. It's number one because you're basically saying, my scientific discovery, breakthrough, innovation, or process will be implemented eventually across the United States and impact everybody. So, for example, if you say, I have a new way or a new form of sweetener, for example. I actually had a client that was part of this. They had done a new form of sweetener. And because of that, they use specific kinds of plants. It was something innovative or new. You can point that out in a national interest waiver, how this will change things around the United States. And that means you have to point out the details of how the case functions, about how the process works and what everything is, and then go from point A to point B, locking it all down, connecting all the dots, and you can get your national interest waiver approved. So typically you file a national interest waiver first as a petition, as a case that says, I want to get this because I qualify, and then you follow it up once it's approved with the adjustment of status. Obviously, the process can be changed to be a one-off, where you're doing one or the other together. One-off, meaning one, then the other, or two together. Talk to your attorney about that. That can be a little dicey because it can sometimes take a lot more effort or change things up a lot more, okay? But the National Interest Waiver works for any field. I mentioned science. I've done it in education, done it in health fields, done it for teachers, done it in all sorts of different fields where we're able to show that there's an impact. Now, this is where we come in by being creative to develop that impact, to be able to say that, hey, here's how we can show a ripple effect or even a trickle-down effect on this client's new process or addition to the United States, okay? So that's how we deal with those. NIWs are great. Love to work on those and love to help you with those kind of questions if you have any. We've been doing them for films. Hi, Sumeet. This is Maggie. Hi, Maggie. How are you? Thank you so much for checking in and saying hello. And she has a home decor account. Thanks, Maggie. That was really nice of you. Say hello. All right. My mother was refused from the President Proclamation. She just received an email to submit her sharing. How do I become a legal resident at U.S.? I've been here since I was 6 months old. Okay, Shah Noor Motani. So, if you've been here since the age of 6, 6 months old, we should be looking at your DACA, okay? I don't know how old you are, but if you are if you were born after 1982, we can obviously look at the DACA case for you. And I don't know how old you are. If you get DACA before the age of 18, there is a specific benefit where we can get you green cards. We can broaden your green card opportunities out to employment-based or family-based. Okay, this is a very, very big deal. Another trick of the trade, so to speak. Anybody who has DACA prior to the age of 18, if you're 17 and a half and you got DACA and you have that card and it has a date on it before you were 18, you have a special benefit that you're able to get green cards in a variety of different ways, including going home and having an interview and coming back, okay? It's called unlawful presence. It's very, very specific. I've done it for some people, but we're very picky about those cases, all right? We don't want people to get stuck at home, right? So obviously, there's an intake process. We're very careful about what we do, and we try to make sure that we're getting everything correct, okay? So that is the number one way. There's an old way, Shah Noor Motami, from 1971, but I don't think you're that old, okay? Because if you were here in 1971 and you were 6 months old, I can get your green card through another process, okay? Which is called registry, all right? So aside from some just generic laws, if you're here since you're 6 months, that alone does not qualify you, okay? That's what I need to tell you. It is what that means, what programs you're a part of, what you've done. If your parents have filed cases, I need to look at 245I. you do need to talk to an attorney and figure out what's going on. Okay. My H-1B is in process since last November. This is RR29930. My H-1B is in process since last November. What does that mean? What can I do? Last November. Okay. So I'm going to guess it's a change of employer or something else. You know, if something like that's going on, you need to look very closely at what was filed and how it was filed. You need to look at your prior status. You need to look at everything that you're doing involving that case. You should also be aware of your 240 days might be up. There's a lot going on with something like that. You should talk to your attorney about it. Most likely there is some issue in terms of the internal filings or the documents. You should do an inquiry and get it pushed. That's a lot longer than is normal, okay? So I would say you should file an inquiry with immigration, talk to your attorney to do that, and you should try to figure out what's going on, all right? It's too long. NK Rocks. Any update on travel ban in India for H1 stamping? Is it advisable to visit India now for stamping? So definitely not advisable to visit India for stamping right now. I had a client stamped last week in Taiwan, but he was from Taiwan. Stamping should be delayed and put off. Indian nationals, very simple. Stamping delayed and put off. If you want to do stamping, you need to talk to your attorney and get into a more detailed conversation of what it is and how you can do it. One more, I'm just doing all the tricks of the trade. There is a process called automatic revalidation. Okay, automatic revalidation may be a process good for you. Okay, you need to talk to your attorney about that. It involves going to Canada or Mexico and coming back immediately within a day and getting your visa revalidated. If you have a visa, you have an approval notice, you can automatically revalidate. All right, obviously we charge to do all that kind of stuff, but there's a freebie for you guys. You can look at that. India, do not travel, do not go for stamping. We're having problems with the national interest waiver from different countries. I wouldn't advise you do that right now. All right. Can I change my B2 visa status? Can you tell me in details? Tariq Shuvo 100. Hey, Tariq. Can I tell you in details? Tariq, no, I cannot tell you in details. Are you fucking kidding? You want me to just give you all the answers and tell you what to do? What kind of question is that? I mean, do you not know me? Have you not seen any videos? Do I ever just tell everybody, here's how you do it? I am full of information, Tariq. Not that information. So here's what I'll tell you. Can I change my B2 visa status? Yes. Okay, there's the answer to that question. Are you in status, Tariq? If you are, yes, you can. The key here, Tariq, is what status you're going to do, how you're going to do it, do you have the documents to support it, and do you have an attorney who knows how these are filed and how long they take and what you're going to do? Okay? If you want to do it on yourself, good luck to you. You fill out the form, submit it, wait for a response. They're taking 13 months. You could be in a lot of trouble in that 13 months if you don't do it right. Okay? All right. My agent brought us in last November. RR, got that. Travel stamp. You guys are great at spamming the questions, but I get to them. I heard, Walkstack says, I heard after July 24th, but we should wait for his answer. Now, look, I do have some information. I know Mumbai opened for F1 stamping for students, but I mean, that's just one piece of news for one embassy consulate opening to do something. Honestly, I'm just being careful. If you're here and sending you back for stamping, it's just not a good idea. And until you have a steady flow of people coming in, you should not do it. Jessica Mosquera 57, we're engineers and an electrical engineer. Oh my gosh, Jessica, I'm very sorry. Let me go over there and check your picture and your thing. No bio. Okay. Sorry, Jessica. I didn't know that. Electrical engineers, love it. I have a ton of clients, electrical engineers. Ways for Indians on F1 to get PR? No. Good afternoon, sir. No. Please talk about EB2. Okay, I think I've got most of these questions. There's some new ones. Ways for Indian. Thank you. Frivolousness. Professor Spencenson. Frivolousness. Yeah, man. Yeah, thumbs up to you. That's just a word that you put into the chat for us. Thank you very much for the word. I mean, I try not to be frivolous. All right. Okay, so let me see what else I got here. I am Spanish, Shah Nur Motani. You have a Persian name, but okay. Come talk to us and we'll get into it, all right? Get some details. Should we send all the documents she took in the interview? Something about someone's mother getting in trouble. My mother was refused from the President Proclamation, just received an email to submit to her. Instead, received a green card letter. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh wow. This thing is crazy. I would like to know cost of filing reinstatement process. Hi. Kobe Sana. You have to file an I-539 reinstatement for student status within 5 months. You should talk to an attorney. They're very complicated because the processing is 13 months for those, and you need to file a bridge case in between that, all right? Spiller prediction for DB2 for the next fiscal year. Great. Let me just get into that really quick, and we'll kind of end with that. And Sherry Arslan 110. I'm so sorry. Once you set an appointment with me, I'll talk to you about it, okay? Okay. So very quickly, India Visa Bulletin came out. July Visa Bulletin came out with massive, massive changes. We saw the filing dates stay relatively stagnant, but the final action dates jumped up like 14 months in some of these situations, okay? And so what I'm looking at is some cases were jumped up to 14 months ahead. What they're doing is they're seeing how many people have applied and how many are in the queue and noticing how many visas they have available. What they're doing is really great. They're saying we're in the final quarter of our year and how many visas we have available. We can now start giving out a lot more. That's why the final action date jumped way, way up and made a huge impact and a huge change on the India Visa Bulletin for EB3 and also an EB2 category. So the Visa Bulletin is really, really great news. We're pretty happy with that. And we're looking at some other details, okay? Dursani, hi, thanks for the hello. Professor Spence, it's in CPR. He said CPR. I mean, for me, I love it. Thank you so much for the compliment. I don't know what CPR means. Please tell me, Sheikh Chango. I'm 20, live in USA, but I'm illegal. Yeah, we can talk about it. Sheikh, give us a call. But I mean, you have to be eligible for DACA if you're unlawful. You're over 18, so you have unlawful presence. And unless you're a beneficiary of some case from your parents, you can't really do too much, okay? Yas 2022, my husband in South Africa, I filed a petitioner and went for 2 times interview. Oh, that's really, really sad. There must be something wrong with the case. You should be talking to your attorney about that. Garavankul, hi, I'm on EB1. I got the green card EAD, but I haven't heard anything from USCIS after that. Oh, that's no good. Yeah, they're taking a very long time, especially in certain categories in AB1. The categories are up in the 13-month range. This is the holdover from the last president, so you're going to have to just wait till that's done and see what you can do after that, okay? It should be coming through soon. We have some of those still pending. We had one approved recently, and it was... We got the green card, everything. It was something like 12 to 14 months. It was pretty fast. Are most African countries fine to travel for visa stamping? Yeah. Generally, yes. There's no travel bans to and from African countries right now. Cost of reinstatement as a student. I have no idea, man. It's an I-539 filing fee plus whatever mailing cost it is. If you hire me, we charge $1,000. Are most African countries safe? You're doing God's work. Thank you, Maverick8805. Thank you so much. That was really nice. I appreciate that. Can my uncle take my custody? I am 20. Custody, you meant to say, with a CUSD. Yeah, typo. No. You got to be under 16 for someone to take custody. You can do a legal guardianship. Oh, hey, you can try Sigis case. Call me. I just realized it. Yeah. We got a good case for you. Oh, you got to do it now. If you're in California, by the time you turn 21, you're going to lose it. Who is that? Shikanji? Oh, yeah, call us right away. Seriously. If you turn 21, you're going to lose it. Do I need to go to law school to make it in law? Yeah, MB pants. Yeah, you got it, bro. You got to go to law school. Pent Flint, why is it shouldn't be tied to an employer? Any chance of independence for employer? No, never. No, forget that. Don't start dreaming things like that. It's not going to happen. Can you help everyone outside of California too? Kobe-san, yeah, man. I help people all over. I have this client in Hawaii I've never met. Got his green card, H-1B years. He sends me clients still. And I still have clients in Hawaii that I've never met. Yeah, clients in Maryland, Connecticut, you name it, all over the country. So yeah, I can help everybody in different countries. The Sigis is specific by case by state. So some programs, very few of them, are dependent on the state, okay? So I can do that depending on what it is. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up. You know, you guys are honestly great. I love my audience. I really, really do. You guys ask the best questions. You're totally involved. You guys know a lot about immigration, and you tune in to us to try and just get updates and news, and that's what we're here for. So keep it up, but most of all, stay safe out there. I know COVID is still out there. We are still wearing masks in our office, but stay safe out there, and if you have questions, please do give us a call. You know where we are. You know who I am, and I talk to you guys all the time. Sometimes you guys get me on the phone. I'm a little bit grumpy. But keep in mind, I do like 30 phone calls a day, so it does get tiring, all right? So if you get me on the phone, I'm a little bit grumpy, just please understand, I still do care about your case. I still care about helping you. I just get, it's just, you have a certain amount of energy per day, right? All right, everybody, stay safe. Thanks for tuning in. We are out of here. Bye.
Good.
That went really well, huh?
Party.
That was
That rocked.
really